So now let's talk about experiments. In an experimental design, we have a control. That means that we're controlling for the effect of what's happening with the other people who are being studied. That control group is not going to get the treatment. It's random. We need to randomly assign subjects to treatments and randomly sample from that population whenever possible. It needs to be something somebody can replicate. If they can't replicate it and we can't find a trend of multiple studies, it's going to be thrown out. And then it needs to be a block. If there are variables that are known or suspected to affect the response variable, the first group subjects into blocks based on those variables. So I have to recognize there's more than one factor in a lot of ways. And so I want to block those factors out with those in mind. If I want to design an experiment to investigate if an energy gel makes you run faster, this is always fascinating to me. My treatment would be my energy gel. My control group would not get the energy gel. They would get some kind of placebo, or they would just not get it and have to do the same exercises. It's suspected that energy gel might affect both pro and amateur athletes differently. So we're going to have to block for this. We're going to have to account for this. So we're going to divide that sample into a pro group and an amateur group. And then we're going to randomly assign each group to the treatment or control. So that creates 4 groups. I have control amateur, control athlete, treatment athlete, treatment of amateurs. So it blocks them into different groups so I can observe what's happening between the different groupings of people. So pro-amateur status also has to be equally represented. I need to try as hard as I can to get the exact same number of people in all 4 groups. So let's look at a practice here. Let's say that this study is designed to test the light level and noise level on exam performance in students. Take a minute and pause this video and then choose your response and then press play again to hear the answer. So the answer would be there are 2 explanatory variables, which are light and noise. There's 1 block variable, which is gender, because they may experience it different based on gender. And then I have a response variable of exam performance after that's been done. The difference between blocks and explanatory variables are factors that are conditions that we can impose on the experimental units. I can't impose a factor of gender. I can't introduce gender as something that I'm going to change during a study if I'm looking at energy gel. Blocking variables then have characteristics that we would like to control for. So I would like to control that male and female responses are the same. I'm trying to control for difference in gender. Blocking is like stratifying, and it's used in an experimental setting with random assignment as opposed to completely sampling something. Some more terminology you need to be familiar with. A placebo is a fake treatment. The placebo effect is when someone is getting the fake treatment but believes in it so much that they respond positively or negatively as well. Blinding is when we don't know which group they're in. So a blind study is you have no idea what group you're in. And a double-blind study is when the researchers don't even know what group they're in. So sometimes this would be like if we were giving an injection or a supplement and we didn't even tell the people observing the groups what was what. So they have no idea what they're giving the person when they give it. They're just recording their observations. And later on, we're going to have tracked to see which group had the placebo and which group had the actual treatment. Here's another practice question. Take a moment, pause the video, and then come back and hear the answer. Most experiments do use random assignment, whereas observational studies do not, because we're simply observing. We can't change the grouping of people in an observational study. It has to be the groups that naturally occur within that study. So here's some help with a visual from random assignment versus random sampling, because those are 2 different things. I would take a moment and take a quick screenshot of this so you can have it at your reference as you move through the material this week.